Hi, Startup Canadians, and hello, fellow Canadians. My name is Victoria Lennox. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Startup Canada. Thank you so much to all of you who tuned in live as we went to Budget Lockdown 2017 to see what was in store for the budget for Canadian entrepreneurs. I wanted to share with you just some of my reflections on the budget and that of this startup community, and I welcome your comments and your reactions and reflections on how you think the budget will support entrepreneurs or what more needs to be done as we look forward to building Canada into an innovation nation. So the big news at the budget was yes, there's quite a significant deficit and our economy and our growth is shrinking, which makes the case even more for why the budget was focused on building the innovation economy that we're going to need for the future and building the innovation infrastructure, the talent, the support that we need to create an inclusive entrepreneurship ecosystem. So while the economy and the economic deficit should raise alarms amongst every Canadian and every entrepreneur who seeks to balance their budgets every single year and to see their own business economies grow. What we're doing now as a nation is going back, investing in the research and development and seeing that growth in the future will come from the innovation economy. So this budget is an innovation budget, and we're very overall pleased with the budget and how the budget is responding to all of the various consultations that have taken place over the last 12 months with the entrepreneurship community. Surely Startup Canada itself has hosted dozens of events in partnership with ministers and departments to engage entrepreneurs in the democratic process. And we feel as though a lot of the concerns raised and some of the ideas are being implemented as part of this budget. So that's really wonderful. It's not just about where we spend, it's where we put our attention and our efforts and our ingenuity in crafting really innovative policies that can help us to build an innovation economy. So the budget is a very important signal for all of us, and it's a call to action to work together to build Canada into this innovation nation. So at a high level, I'll provide a quick executive summary as to what's in the budget for Canada's entrepreneurs, and I encourage every Canadian to take the time to read the budget to figure out and see where your taxpayer dollars are going and what it means for you and your business. And for all of the entrepreneurs out there, the 2.3 million entrepreneurs, I welcome you to work with Startup Canada to make sure that the investments that we're making as a nation are helping us to grow your businesses so that you can create jobs, grow our communities, and help to contribute to the growth of our economy. So some of the big news for the startup community, there's 800 million towards incubators and clusters that has been allocated. There's $2 billion over 3 years for post-secondary education institutions through a strategic investment fund. There's $100 million over 5 years for clean tech research and development, and $73 million supporting new co-ops and integrated learning opportunities. What you see here is a really big focus on investing in infrastructure and this new big development of a $950 million investment into a supercluster to essentially grow our innovation economy. There's $50 million in new innovative solutions through Canada Procurement Program. The Government of Canada has the potential to be the biggest buyer from Canadian businesses and the first reference client for our innovation companies so that we can go to the world and ensure that our government is behind us and our country is behind us. Procurement is possibly one of the most powerful policy levers that the government has, and so the $50 million will go towards developing the architecture within ISED in order to take procurement to the next level. And Startup Canada and Startup Canadians encourage the government to be very bold with this initiative and to see that this is one of the most important things the government can do for entrepreneurship in Canada. We also see the creation in the budget of an intellectual property strategy as well as the launch of a national AI strategy that will bring together Canadian AI experts and sort out what we're going to do in order to make Canada a leading player, if not the leading player in artificial intelligence in the world. We've invested $400 million over 3 years towards the Venture Capital Catalyst Initiative, which helps to bridge an important gap in the growth of our companies and making sure that we're encouraging private sector investors and encouraging global investors to look at Canada as an important destination to grow our companies. In addition to that, we have $50 million over 2 years to support organizations delivering digital skills, training to girls and boys in kindergarten to grade 12. And that's really preparing that next generation for the digital economy and the workforce that they will be entering. So there's a lot of support that we're seeing for the startup community and the innovation sector in Canada. So what's not included in the budget? Well, certainly a really bold approach to procurement is something that this startup community would welcome. In addition to that, as our startup community matures and works towards becoming a scale-up community where we're producing more IPOs and more anchors that are creating more jobs and is really becoming a bigger slice of the economy, the innovation economy, taking up a bigger slice of the pie. What we need to ensure is that our access to global markets, our access to global supply chains through multinational companies as well as through our free trade agreements with other nations, continents, and regions, that we really have a facilitated way in which our entrepreneurs can go global. The Canadian market is far too small for us to compete, but where the budget really gets off to the right foot is thinking about building this supercluster that brings together the incubators, accelerators, industry, the startup community, as well as academia, colleges, and universities, bringing us all together in order to really realize what is this vision for innovation in Canada, and really focusing and hedging our bets on some key fundamental industries, clean technology, the digital economy, as well as agri-tech and agri-food. These are industries where Canada can play a leading role. A few words of caution. So as we build this innovation community, what's so critical is that it's an inclusive innovation community, and that rings true to everything that we read in the budget. It really seems to be an inclusive budget. But it also has to be inclusive as it's rolled out. What's important is that every Canadian feels supported, encouraged, and part of the innovation economy as it emerges. We know that innovation displaces traditional employment opportunities, and we also know that it requires rescaling, upscaling, and people who are moving in the workforce in ways that we didn't know it exists today. Technology is changing at such a rapid rate. So as a whole nation, through the supercluster, what values do we hold true? How are we integrating displaced employees who've lost their jobs into the innovation economy? How are we creating good jobs for Canadians? And the focus on agri-tech, clean tech, and the digital economy seem like wonderful ways forward. So overall, the startup community and Startup Canada applauds the Government of Canada for listening to Canadians and Canadian entrepreneurs and building an innovation budget that can lay the foundations and communicate the values of what a supercluster, what a super Canada will look like. And we hope that moving forward that we can continue to support the entrepreneurs' engagement in this democratic process to ensure that we are building a nation of entrepreneurs and innovators that are solving real challenges that we're facing here at home and helping to solve global challenges as well. So thank you again, and our organization and the 2.3 million entrepreneurs across Canada are at the service of the nation to help to build Canada into a thriving and inclusive country for every entrepreneur to succeed. So thank you everyone, and I welcome your comments and feedback.